All right, I'd like to welcome you to the graduation for the class of 2020. Just a couple of housekeeping notes before we get started. We will ask that you wait until all of the seniors have exited the pack, and then we will dismiss a section at a time to be in compliance with the new COVID rules. We will also ask that when the ceremony is over, that you will leave the Performing Arts Center as soon as it's over. We've got to get the same disinfectant for another group to come in. So those are some housekeeping things we'll take care of. But I'd like to welcome you to this graduation ceremony. This time I'd like to introduce 3 or 4 people who are going to work during this ceremony. I'd like to introduce Mr. Heath Roberts, who's Academy Principal. Mr. Charlie Gabe, who's a counselor. And Dr. Kim Wilbice, who will be presenting on our senior class. I would like to start by saying thank you for sending such a great group of kids. You guys have done a wonderful job raising these kids. Anybody who thinks that the future's not bright has never been around kids like we've been with this year. I don't want to talk much about the things we didn't have. I want to talk about the things we had. We had a great group of kids. We had great chemistry at school. These kids we've got national honor finalists. We've got kids that made 36 on the ACT. We've got kids that are going to Ivy League schools. We've got kids that were great dancers, kids that were great artists, great band, great art students. Just an outstanding group of young people. And those are the things we did have, and we're very, very, very proud of this group. I will say that I look forward to watching these kids in the future. Be happy to call them a fellow alumni, here in a few minutes. And I'm very excited to watch their future. Nothing better when you've done this as long as I have to see these guys grow up and see them reach their potential. So guys, I'm your biggest fan. I can't wait to see you reach your potential. At this time, I would like to ask Ms. Therese Jones to come up. She's a salutatorian in this class, and she will give a speech.
Got 2 on. Welcome, everyone, to the graduation of the class of 2020, for real this time. Now, the last time I gave this speech, it was in front of 5 people and a camera, so please do forgive me if I make any mistakes. Of course, I would like to start this speech by thanking everyone who has helped me on this journey, from my teachers, my counselors, principals, peers, and the custodians and janitors of this school. Thank you. I would especially like to thank Mrs. D for answering all of my questions, even when I didn't know what my question was, and for dealing with all our shenanigans on Malu UN trips. You will always be Mrs. E to me. I will always remember you as one of my favorite teachers, and Pup will always hold a special place in my warm-blooded heart. Mrs. LeClaire, I heard so much about you from my older sisters, and I was so excited to finally get the chance to have you as a teacher. And you certainly surpassed all the expectations my sisters had given me. I will always remember your rants about Boris Johnson, your stories of Scotland, trick-or-treating around the school, and even getting my first F, but only because the answer key was wrong. I would also especially like to thank my family and sisters for always setting such great examples for me. As the youngest of 4 girls, I have always heard others speak of my sisters' accomplishments, and I always looked up to them for advice and guidance. Though I am sorry to say that I am the last Jones girl to be graduating from JHS, they always do say that the best is always saved for last. Now, on to the rest of the speech. The class of 2020 has been through it, man. So much has happened this year. Remember when Australia was on fire? Yeah, that was in January. Then Brexit happened, the NBA was kind of canceled. We all thought Kim Jong-un died for a second. Oh, and we can't forget about the murder hornets. Whatever happened to them? But hey, at least we got a docu-series about a gay man with a mullet that owns a zoo and tried to hire a hitman on a weird cat lady. Am I right, cool cats and kittens? And I haven't even started talking about what's happened throughout the rest of our time at high school. We started out a bit rough our first year. Not only did we not get late start, but we were in a scary new school with intimidating upperclassmen, and that includes my sister. But we had people that helped us along the way. We had Dr. Porter teach us about Mesopotamia in a way that was actually fun and give us quizzes the day after Halloween. We had Coach Riley shout PIMDAS from the front of the classroom and somehow make us look forward to math class. We had Dr. Flanagan rap for us at school assemblies and show us that, yes, we were still his dogs. We had the lunch ladies and custodians make us feel safe and comforted in a school that had virtually no windows. And when we finally made it to our senior year, we only found more challenges awaiting us. The school had gotten a new principal, and we quickly found that the underclassmen were a lot less scared and intimidated than we were on our first day, as evident by the many different performances of Happy Birthday in the lunchroom, though it will forever remain a mystery to me whose birthday it actually was. We also found that some of the underclassmen maybe weren't as annoying as the rest and reluctantly came to befriend one or two, but I totally won't miss them or worry about them at all, not one bit. And now to address the elephant in the room. There's not actually one in the room though, I'm pretty sure that would violate social distancing guidelines. Amidst all the challenges we faced our senior year, suddenly having to leave school and learn online may have been the most difficult to overcome. But overcome it we did, and we were still able to graduate with flying colors. This class is home to brilliant minds, record-shattering athletes, and some of the hardest workers I know. We have state champions in tennis and volleyball and an amazing girls basketball team. And though they didn't win the state championship this year, our swim team is pretty amazing too. We have some really smart and talented people at this school too. We have people going to nationally ranked schools and Ivy Leagues. And since I have the chance, I also need to recognize my fellow AP Art students and our accomplishments. With the support of Mr. Leggett and Mrs. Callahan, just among the seniors, we exceeded the state average AP score, received 2 scholastic gold keys, 3 silver keys, an honorable mention, and most impressively, a national gold medal. And last, but certainly not least, we can't forget about the people in our class who worked the hardest. I'm not talking about the people who got the best grades or took the most AP classes. I'm talking about the people that worked jobs along with taking classes in order to help their family out or make money for college. I'm talking about the people that were struggling in a class, but had the strength and courage to ask for help and put in the work to understand the content. Now, as we finally get to have the graduation we have been imagining and looking forward to, we can't help but notice how much it has subverted our expectations. I certainly didn't expect to suddenly have school canceled and speculate about my classes, AP exams, and if I would even walk at graduation. As we all begin to close the curtains on our high school musical and look towards the sequel, we are once again left to speculate. We are not only leaving the safe, familiar, and diverse place we call Jonesboro High School, but we are doing all of that in the midst of not only a pandemic, but also the greatest racial injustice awakening in over 50 years. While we are dealing with a public health crisis, this country is finally starting to acknowledge and recognize another crisis it has covered up for far too long. It is undeniable that marginalized people, especially Black people, are much more likely to be subjected to prejudice and injustice for simply living their lives, for simply playing with a toy gun, wearing a hoodie, or trying to pay for groceries. Though COVID threatens what our future may look like in a month or even a year, the cry of justice arising for George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, and all of our brothers and sisters of color gives us hope. Though the outcome is uncertain and the journey seems scary, I know that we will all be able to handle it. Whether you are going to college, into the workforce, or something else entirely, Never doubt your capability to do something and your right to achieve. For receiving your diploma while walking through the eye of a hurricane should be proof enough that you can open the roof and soar through the rain. Now, to finish this speech, I would like to give you all some final advice. Make sure to exfoliate and moisturize. Have compassion for others. Don't forget to water your plants. Do not judge people by their color, religion, or who they love. Stop vaping in the bathrooms. And finally, go out and make the world a better place. Oh, and success is a word. Thank you.
All right, our next speaker will be BCAL multi-program completer, Ms. Thomasina Huggins.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Thomasina, and I'm a part of BCAL just like you. My experience with BCAL and JHS will be one for the books. Several of my teachers have mentored and brought me up when I was down, even if they may not have known it. Shout out to name a few, Mr. Newman, Ms. McCandless, and Ms. Mashburn. I would mention many others if my time wasn't limited, but thank you. I'm grateful and honored to have this chance to speak to all of you today. And honestly, if it wasn't for BCAL, this would not be possible today. As I walk the campus today, reading faces that I have come to know so well, I am forever grateful for the support and guidance offered to me by teachers and students alike. I will always bear in mind the ways JHS has improved me. Through this experience, my parents have continued to guide me. My loved ones that are alive and have passed on continue to live through me in the present as I walk my journey to success. I know many of us laughed and didn't take it serious when Dr. Lewis instilled success is a word at one of our pre-tournament prep rallies, but I actually took and thought about what he said, and every time I've had a major achievement since that day, it pops into my head because success really is a word. Your path isn't set in stone and also not to be compared to others, because what God has for you is for you only. Success doesn't determine who you are, but who you want to be. I created my own acronym for success and hope it finds you eventually, even if it's in the near future. S is for stability. Find a way to success that is long-term. Find a way to invest in your future that will last you decades, such as investing, advertising, and merchandising. Sometimes that defines you, but also can last a lifetime. U is for utilizing. Don't waste your potential. Everything has value. It's up to you to find the value, even in the smallest areas. C is comfortability. Don't ever get comfortable. Always be moving on to the next big thing. C is for capitalize. Make sure all of your work that leads to success is solid before moving forward with other plans. People and objects are always going to be coming at you, even at the top. It's up to you to make sure your legacy has a foundation to stand upon at all times. E is for essential. Make sure whatever your success is built on doesn't fade away. Sustainability. Always be looking for the next big thing to stay in the game. Last but not least, sacrifice. Everything comes at a price. Don't be afraid of loss. Be afraid of what's coming. You will lose friendships, relationships, and even yourself. Overcoming the trials and tribulations will determine how successful you will become. Farewell, class of 2020.
Okay, at this time we'll present diplomas. Mr. Heath Roberts will be presenting diplomas to our 2020 graduates.
Alexis Brooks. Andrew Brown. Aaliyah Burks. Leah Nicole Calloway. Catano. Austin Elliott. Peyton Eskew. Robert Fire. Jesus Lopez. Shelby King. Therese Jones. Thomasina Huggins. Taranisha Hill. Shawisky Haskins. Jacob Dylan Haley. Jesus Garcia. Jordan Flanagan. Jason Anthony Martinez. Maria Mahajan. Tyrese Phillip. Emily Renshaw. Martina Reynolds. Reed Roberts. Cameron Shelley. Trinity Simmons. Jacoby Warren. Tommy Patrick. Casey Wilson. Peyton Wilhite.
At this time, Dr. Kim Banks will present Class 2020.
Good afternoon. I'm Dr. Kim Banks, the Superintendent of the Jonesboro School District. It's been a long year, hasn't it, Class of 2020? On behalf of the Jonesboro Public School faculty, staff, Board of Directors, we're here today with your family and your friends to celebrate you, the Class of 2020. We make history today, not just because we've survived COVID-19 for your senior year. You are the largest class in the history of Jonesboro Public Schools, 421 students. And what a class this is. $6 million in scholarships, 57 students with a 4.0 or higher. 60% of this group is college bound, 12 are joining the armed forces, some of them have already reported for duty, and we have 127 honor graduates. 22 graduates scored a 30 or above on their ACT. 2 graduates scored, you know it, a perfect 36. We have numerous other awards and honors. What makes this even more special is their days were cut short. So many honors and awards you didn't have the opportunity to compete for. The real story of this class is more than what just they accomplished. It's about your year, so different than any other group. Your year that did not include a senior prom. It did not include a senior night in baseball and other sporting events. It did not include a spring musical and so many more events. But still you persevered, and none of those circumstances have diminished the pride that all of us here today have in what you have accomplished. So I say to you, job well done. So Class of 2020, I ask you to stand, please. Please move your tassels from the right to the left. You are now moving from a student to a graduate of the academies at Jonesboro High School. Ladies and gentlemen, the Class of 2020. Once a hurricane, always a hurricane. Thank you. I'm sorry, if you'll please join the Class of 2020 in standing for the alma mater, if you guys will remain standing.